What's up YouTube, e-bike junkie here. Today we're going to be showing you how to hack or de-restrict your Shimano powered e-bike. We're going to be doing it to this Commencal Meta Power, but I believe that this method will work for pretty much any e-bike that's using the Shimano Steps system. Let's get to it. So before we make the change, I'm just going to show you exactly what I mean by restricted and what the bike does. Basically, once you get to 18 miles an hour, the motor stops giving you assistance, and we're trying to get rid of that. So pay close attention to the watch speedo and the Shimano speedo. At this point they should be the same. Let's go. So it's probably hard to tell from the video, but basically at 18-19 miles an hour you should have noticed that the motor stops helping me out. Here are some of the things that you're going to need to perform this hack. Some scissors, a 4mm Allen wrench, some electrical tape, and lastly this magnet. I got this from Amazon. I'll leave a link to it in the description of the video. You can use the existing magnet that's on the bike. When we get into it later, I'll show you why I think this is a much better solution. But if you just want to go ahead and try this hack and you don't have the magnet, you can definitely do that and maybe order this later. So let's understand exactly what's happening and what this hack is going to do. Right now we have the sensor on the chainstay and we have the magnet on the wheel, and this is just like any speed sensor. It tells the computer exactly how fast the bike is going, and so once it reaches 18 miles an hour, that's when it cuts out. What we're going to do is we're going to move this sensor back here and we're going to put a magnet on the crank arm here. What that'll do is when you're pedaling, obviously you can't spin the cranks quite as fast as the wheel, and so we're essentially tricking the computer and it's going to think that we're going slower than what we are. So I decided to take the back wheel off just to get at the sensor. You might be able to do it with the wheel on. Way easier with the wheel off. Next up, I'm going to take this sensor, pull it back, and we're going to align it with the crank arm. Make sure that the Shimano is facing outwards. It's got to face outwards like that towards the magnet, or else it won't work. So we're looking for Shimano facing outwards, and then we just want it far enough back so that when we place the magnet on the crank arm, it's going to surpass it like that. I'm going to go ahead and use some electrical tape to fasten this to the chainstay. I really like this method because it doesn't do any lasting damage to your frame. It's not going to scratch it. If anything, it's going to actually provide some extra protection. And then most importantly, if you want to switch back to the standard setup, i.e. not have your bike de-restricted or hacked, this is really easy to take off. Next up, we're going to attach the magnet to the crank arm. Now you can use the standard magnet that comes with the bike on the wheel. One thing you have to be really careful of is the clearance here. There isn't much clearance at all, and obviously with it sticking out like that, it's very prone to getting knocked off, and then if you lose it, you've lost your original magnet, and putting it back to standard is going to be a little tougher. I much prefer this solution. It's a little thin magnet. I just got it on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description. And obviously it's really sleek, goes on the back of the crank, plenty of clearance here. If you lose it, which I don't think you will, then obviously it's not the end of the world. But I really like this solution. So if you're thinking of doing this long term, I would encourage you to look into that. Next, I'm just going to double check that everything's clear there. As you can see, it is. What I've done is I've powered the bike on. You can see the display there. And when I backpedal, if it's working, I should get a speed reading. There we go. And you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just backpedaling like that, and we're getting a speed readout. And that tells me it's going to work. Okay, so we're back out on the trail with the hack in place, and I'm going to put it in boost mode, and I'm just going to see if it'll keep pulling past 18 miles an hour. Keep an eye on this speedo and the watch. This one's going to be wrong, that one should be right. Let's do it. And there we go. I don't know if you could see that, but I think I got up to about 22 miles an hour and the motor was still engaged. Please give us your feedback in the comments. Let us know if this worked for you. More importantly, how did you like it out on the trail? If this video was helpful to you, please subscribe and stay tuned for more e-bike content.